UFC Sao Paulo is highly underrated, but it is far better than your expectations. Some casual fans are losing interest in it after Curtis Blades pulled out of the main event and was replaced with Derek Lewis. But let me tell you, this wasn't the only great fight in this card. Let's start the video and discuss what fights are happening this weekend that you should not miss at all. I'm the guy with the Indian accent and you are on Fight Book. The reason why the main event is less interesting is the finishing machine Jailton Almeida, who finished each of his wins before the final horn, most of them in the very first round. His average time to finish his UFC opponents is only 3 minutes and 43 seconds. In his 5 UFC fights, he has only absorbed 2 significant strikes, so basically he is the better version of Khamzat Chimaev in the heavyweight division. And at this moment, the best matchup for him was his original opponent Curtis Blades, who is currently the best heavyweight in the UFC, but as he has pulled out of the fight, so he has now replaced with 2 times title challenger Derek Lewis, who holds the record for most knockouts in the UFC history. Derek Lewis was on a 3-fight losing streak all via finish and on the verge of getting cut from the UFC, but an out of nowhere knee saved him from getting cut. That's what casuals think. Real fans know that Francis Ngannou is the real reason for him getting a new long-time big money contract with the UFC. If you know how, do tell others in the comment section. Although Lewis is a heavy underdog, this fight among top 10 heavyweights is dangerous enough for both of them, and it is very likely that the winner will be given a title contender match with a top 5 ranked opponent, be it Curtis Blades or Cyril Gane. It depends on the UFC, so I don't think you want to miss it. The heaviest favorite of the card, Gabriel Bonin, is a very scary fighter in the UFC welterweight division like Shavkat Rakhmonov. As Shavkat is riding with 17 finishes in his 17 fights, this prospect is also undefeated and has finished all 15 opponents. Now he is headed to his 3rd UFC fight against Nicolas Dalby, who is on a 3-fight winning streak and overall just lost 1 of his 7 UFC bouts. Bonin is the dark horse of an already dangerous division, and it will be a more beneficial fight for him if he can extend his finish streak to 16. This win can give the winner a chance to get a ranked opponent in his next fight, getting him closer to his dream. Bayo is a former FC middleweight champion who was refused by Dana White to get a contract because he couldn't finish current Bellator title contender Aaron Jeffrey. He accepted another short notice fight in the same season, got a finish as well as the contract, and now is on a rise in the company with an impressive 4-fight win streak. Bayo was set to take on Nurmagomedov Rozibuev, however Rozibuev withdrew for unknown reason and was replaced by none other than Abus Magomedov, against whom Bayo talked shit for getting a top-ranked fight against Sean Strickland right after his UFC debut. So maybe it's personal for Magomedov, who now needs to prove that his loss against Strickland is not because he's a bad fighter, but because Sean Strickland is too good to beat at this time of his career. Former GFC middleweight champion Rinat Fakhretdinov is a highly skilled and experienced fighter who started his MMA career with a win but then suffered a loss in his 2nd fight. Still, this is not a significant blemish in his career, as he has now won 20 straight fights since then, 3 of them in the UFC. Moreover, he is coming off a first-round submission win over former title contender Kevin Lee. That win has earned him a spot in the rankings as well as some hype, which he needs to maintain this weekend so that he can get a big name for his next fight. On the other side, Dos Santos is on a 2-fights winning streak and won 3 in his last 5, but overall he won 10 fights in the UFC and lost only 3. The interesting fact is that he has beat middleweight champion Sean Strickland in first round via knockout, and before the loss against Li Jingliang, he was on a 7 fights winning streak. So if he wins this fight as well, he will get Rinat's number 15 spot in the rankings and also a little hype in the division. Other than these crazy fights, some other good fighters are also on the card who have a great potential. Gabriel Bonfim's brother Ismail Bonfim is also on the card. Last time when both brothers were on the same card, both rocked the show where he knocked out Terrence McKinney. The difference is that then they both were in the prelims, and this weekend both are on the main card. Another great prospect on the card is Elvis Brenner, the team member of Charles Oliveira. Brenner is coming off a brutal victory over Guram Kutadiladze. Denise Gomez also has a chance to kick out undeservingly ranked Angela Hill to get her number 12 spot. Always entertaining Armand Petrosyan and some undefeated prospects like Daniel Marcos, Vitor Petrino and Eduarda Moura are also making the card an interesting one. So I don't find any reason a fight fan should miss this card. Now if you find this video entertaining, interesting or helpful, then do like the video and then share it with your friends. Now I'll see you in the next video, so till then, do whatever you want.